Did you know that the most dangerous room in your house is the one you visit every single day to relax? You step into the bathroom, turn on the warm water, and let the steam soothe your aching muscles. For decades, this has been your safe space. But if you're over 60 years old, this simple daily routine might be quietly destroying your heart. There are no sudden alarms and there is no sharp chest pain. You might just feel a little dizzy, slightly breathless, or unusually tired. You brush it off as just another sign of getting older, but beneath the surface, your cardiovascular system is fighting for survival. A cardiovascular specialist with over 25 years of experience studying heart disease and stroke prevention across the United States, he has witnessed a terrifying pattern. He has seen countless older adults, people who eat right and walk every day, suddenly rush to the emergency room with severe arrhythmias, sudden blood pressure drops, or even life-threatening strokes. The cause was not a random accident, and it was not a fast food diet. It was the simple, familiar way they took their daily shower. Here's the medical truth that nobody warns seniors about. A heart that has beaten faithfully for 60 or 70 years does not react to sudden changes the way a 30-year-old heart does. When hot water hits aging skin, blood vessels rapidly expand, pulling blood away from the brain and the heart. Blood pressure plummets and oxygen levels drop. On the flip side, a sudden splash of cold water causes violent vessel constriction, sending blood pressure skyrocketing in seconds and risking a torn artery. What feels like a comforting ritual is actually pushing an aging heart to the absolute breaking point. Today, I am going to reveal the exact shower habits that are silently damaging the cardiovascular systems of older adults. What you learn today could save your life. If you want to protect your health, please hit the subscribe button now and type a 1 in the comments if you are ready to begin. Let us uncover the first hidden danger. To truly understand why the bathroom has become such a high-risk area, we have to look past the running water and look deep inside the human body. The very core of this problem comes down to one undeniable medical reality: the physiological decline of your cardiovascular system. It is a hard truth to accept, but the body you have at 60 or 70 years old is simply not the same machine you operated in your 30s. In your mind, you might still feel sharp, energetic, and ready to take on the world, but beneath your skin, your biological systems have quietly lost their most important survival tool. And that tool is adaptability. In the medical field, we call this the loss of homeostasis. Think of your cardiovascular system like a massive network of fresh rubber bands. When a younger person encounters sudden heat or cold, those rubber bands effortlessly stretch and snap back into place. They widen and narrow in a fraction of a second to keep blood pressure perfectly stable. But as decades pass, a silent transformation occurs. Those flexible rubber bands become stiff and rigid. They lose their natural elasticity. Because of this structural aging, your brain and your heart become incredibly fragile and hypersensitive to even the smallest changes in temperature. Imagine an older adult who takes great care of their health. They eat well, they walk daily, and they feel perfectly fine. One evening, they step into their usual warm shower to relax. They do not realize that their stiffened blood vessels can no longer adapt to the sudden heat. Almost instantly, a massive volume of blood is pulled away from the core organs. The brain is suddenly deprived of oxygen. The heart panics and begins to beat frantically, trying to pump blood through a system that has lost all its pressure. The person might feel a tiny wave of dizziness, a strange fluttering in the chest, or a sudden heaviness in their legs. But they ignore it. They blame it on simply being tired. They do not know that in that exact moment, their physiological defenses have collapsed. A silent clot begins to form right there under the warm, running water. By the time they step out, dry off, and go to bed, the damage is already done. A stroke could strike hours later. Those subtle warning signs are not just signs of getting older. They are desperate cries for help from an exhausted heart and a starving brain. Have you ever felt a sudden wave of exhaustion or lightheadedness while standing under the shower head? If you have experienced this, please type number 1 in the comments below right now. Now let us explore how the temperature of the water itself turns into a silent weapon. Now that you understand how aging strips away your cardiovascular system's ability to adapt, we must look at the exact trigger that forces your body into a state of absolute panic. We are talking about the extreme temperatures of the water itself and the massive lies we have been told about what is healthy for our bodies. For decades, you have been conditioned to believe that a steaming hot shower is the ultimate way to relax. It feels like pure therapy. But if you could look beneath your skin, you would see a terrifying reaction. When extremely hot water hits your aging skin, your blood vessels are forced to expand rapidly. Imagine you are in a large house and you suddenly turn on every single sink and shower at the exact same time. The water pressure in the pipes drops to almost nothing. That is exactly what happens inside your arteries. Your overall blood pressure plummets, your heart panics, because the blood flow slows down to a dangerous crawl, a silent clot forms. Consider the tragic case of a 74-year-old retired postal worker. One night, the extreme heat caused a massive blood pressure drop. He felt a slight wave of dizziness, but brushed it off as just being tired. In that quiet moment, a clot formed and traveled to his brain. What felt like a comforting ritual was actually an ischemic stroke waiting to happen. But if hot water is dangerous, the opposite extreme is equally deadly. Younger fitness gurus constantly praise the benefits of sudden cold showers. But for a heart that has been beating for over 6 decades, sudden cold exposure is not refreshing. It is a violent and catastrophic shock. When icy water hits your skin, your blood vessels instantly clamp down. The pressure inside your system skyrockets. In an older adult whose arteries are already stiffened by time, this sudden spike creates a massive tearing force. It can literally rip the fragile plaques inside your arterial walls. Take the story of a 68-year-old retired firefighter who prided himself on his toughness. He thought he was strengthening his heart, but the sudden surge tore a fragile vessel. Minutes after stepping out, he collapsed with a drooping face and a garbled voice. People constantly ignore these early warning signs. A flutter in the chest, a sudden gasp for air, or a brief moment of blurred vision. Their cardiovascular system is screaming for help. Before we move on, I want you to think about your own routine. Do you naturally prefer your water steaming hot or bracingly cold? Please leave a comment below right now and tell me your usual shower temperature. Now, let us uncover why the time on the clock when you shower could be a recipe for disaster. Even if you manage to get the water temperature perfectly right, you are still not safe. There is another invisible trap hidden inside your bathroom routine, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the water itself. It has to do with the clock on your wall. We need to talk about the exact time of day you choose to bathe, because stepping under the shower head at the wrong moment creates what cardiovascular experts call a perfect storm for a stroke or sudden heart failure. For most of your life, you have probably showered whenever it felt convenient. But as your cardiovascular system ages, it loses the ability to multitask. When you force an aging heart to handle a shower during its most vulnerable windows, the results can be devastating. Let us look at the first extremely dangerous window, immediately after eating a large meal or taking your evening medications. Your body automatically diverts a massive amount of your blood away from your brain and sends it down toward your stomach to aid in digestion. Now imagine stepping into a warm shower. The stomach is demanding blood. The skin is demanding blood. Your brain and your heart are left completely starved of oxygen. Circulation slows to a dangerous crawl. Consider the medical records of a 76-year-old retired teacher. She ate dinner, took her pills, and stepped into the warm water. Her blood pressure plunged so fast that her brain was starved of oxygen. A silent blood clot formed instantly. She collapsed on the bathroom floor, unable to speak, all because she did not wait an hour after eating. But showering right after dinner is not the only fatal timing mistake. Millions of seniors believe a hot shower late at night is the best way to sleep. Here is the terrifying medical truth. As the sun goes down, your circadian rhythm naturally lowers your blood pressure. When you take a hot shower at 11 at night, you artificially force your core temperature back up. Worse, the steam and heat cause you to sweat, leading to unseen fluid loss. You are now lying in bed with naturally low nighttime blood pressure combined with chemically thickened blood from dehydration. The clot forms slowly in the dark while you are dreaming. By the time the sun comes up, the damage is done, a massive ischemic stroke triggered by nothing more than a late-night shower. Before we move on, I want to check in with you. When is your favorite time to take a shower? Are you a morning person or do you prefer bathing at night? Please type morning or night in the comments below right now. Now, let us talk about the unseen hazard that causes instant heart trauma. Now that we understand how the clock on your wall can turn a simple shower into a medical emergency, we must look at the physical room itself. There is an invisible trap hidden right inside your bathroom environment, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the water temperature or the time of day. But what feels like a comforting sanctuary is actually turning into a suffocating chamber for your cardiovascular system. When you fill a small enclosed bathroom with heavy steam, the water molecules actually displace the available oxygen. At the exact same time, gravity pulls a massive amount of your blood down into your legs. So your aging heart is now fighting a terrifying battle. It is trying to pump heavy, pooled blood upward against gravity, while being starved of the oxygen it desperately needs. Consider the story of an older retired mechanic who lived alone. He loved taking 20-minute hot showers in a completely sealed bathroom. He thought the steam was healing him, but the combination of low oxygen and dehydration caused his blood pressure to bottom out. He felt a wave of dizziness, stepped out into the hallway, and collapsed with a major ischemic stroke. But the air you breathe is only half of the danger. We must talk about the very floor beneath your feet. Imagine you are standing in the shower and your foot slips just 1 inch. In that terrifying fraction of a second, your brain floods your bloodstream with massive amounts of stress hormones. This survival reflex forces your blood vessels to clamp down violently and your heart to pound with extreme force. For an older adult, this sudden explosive surge in blood pressure is devastating. The shock of nearly falling can instantly trigger dangerous arrhythmias, causing the heart to beat chaotically. The physical environment of your bathroom is forcing your heart to work in extreme conditions. Have you ever felt dizzy or totally out of breath after standing in a steamy, closed bathroom? Please type the words steam or slip in the comments below right now. Sharing your experience could help someone else recognize these silent warning signs before it is too late. Now, let us uncover the exact steps you must take to protect your heart tomorrow morning. Now that we have exposed the terrifying truths about the suffocating steam and the invisible traps on your bathroom floor, you might be feeling overwhelmed. The answer is yes, you do not need to live in fear of your own bathroom. Knowledge is power, and with a few simple mindful adjustments, you can transform your shower back into a safe routine. First, we must absolutely eliminate the temperature extremes. Set your water to a lukewarm, moderate temperature. Think of lukewarm water as a gentle environment that allows your aging blood vessels to remain stable. Furthermore, keep your shower time short. 10 minutes is more than enough. Second, you must crack the bathroom door or open a window. Your heart and your brain need a continuous supply of rich, oxygenated air. Third, you must strictly follow the 1-hour rule. Never step into a shower immediately after eating or taking medications. Give your body time to stabilize. Fourth, make it a daily habit to drink a glass of water before you step in and another glass after you step out. By hydrating properly, you keep your blood volume high and protect your brain from an ischemic stroke. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, never ignore the whispers of your own body. Dizziness, a sudden heaviness in your legs, or blurred vision. These are desperate distress signals crying out for oxygen. If you feel even slightly unwell, turn it off immediately and ask for help. The greatest lesson you can take away from this is that aging changes everything. The body you have at 70 simply cannot handle the environmental shocks it easily absorbed at 30. You are not fragile, but you are different. Protect your heart with these small changes, and it will continue to carry you through a long, beautiful life. What is the one change you're going to make starting tomorrow morning? Let me know in the comments below right now. If this information opened your eyes today, please subscribe and share this video with someone you love. Let us continue to save lives together.